Right. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Alrighty here. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Wonder how everybody's doing today. We're going to be diving into the continuing with artificial intelligence, our Simpsons spec script. Last week we combined storyline A and C into one. Now I have a clear story A and a clear story B. And it needs to be organized. We're going to do a little organizing. We're going to start turning things into little index cards, like you probably see in the movies of writers' rooms. We don't have a big board to do it on, but I'm going to have this little digital whiteboard called Freeform that came with the Mac that I purchased. So, yeah, it'll be fun. And if you feel free to chime in and throw in any ideas that you may have, if you've ever been interested in writing or a fan of The Simpsons, no pressure, of course. And also, if you're on YouTube Vertical Live and want to see what we're talking about, I have a bigger screen with a lot more going on visually. If you wanted to check out the Twitch or the YouTube live stream, I am full screen right now, but we will get there, I promise you. And yeah, that's about it. Other than that, I am just excited to be online again and catch up with everybody. Have a sip of Olipop root beer. They don't pay me to drink that, by the way. Okay, let's go check out the chats. Because I never start this stream prepared. It's just kind of how I roll. I will be moving in a month. I'm excited to do that. I'll have to probably take at least one break, this one Tuesday off from streaming, but in the new setup, I really hope to make the transitions easier. I want to record some new transitions, and who knows, maybe like a new title, new song. Also, decided that in the near future, whenever I can prepare for it, I'm going to start doing some co-working streams where you can write or work alongside me if you want to keep yourself accountable, whatever you might use it for. MCARL, yo, what's good? Everything's good. Everything is good. It's a good day. It's a good day to, be alive. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. The sun is shining, and we're writing, and we're hanging out with people online, and good people who are part of a fun community like yourself. What's good with you? What's happening on your side of the world? Are you watching the World Cup at all? My day is going well. Thank you for asking, MCARL. I just got in from work, had a little shower to refresh myself, and ate a little snack to give myself a little energy to do this stream, and here we are. But I always look forward to a day whenever I get to just write and hang out online and sport a new cardigan. What I like about this combo, and I know you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway, is that clearly I have this Guinness shirt on, but it just kind of reminds me of that cream color top that a Guinness stout would have. I feel like it goes together in more ways than one, but that's just me. I'm not a fashionista. I don't know. Okay, so now that people are starting to trickle in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up a digital whiteboard. If you're on YouTube Vertical Live and you want to see a little bit about what I'm, see visually what I'm talking about, I'll show you our digital writer's room. And there we go. Now, I could zoom out and you wouldn't be able to read it. But this is what we have. This is the work that we've been doing. A few hours each week, week by week. The reason that I really like doing a Simpsons spec script online is because anybody can join in at any time. Really, if you've ever been curious about what goes on in a writer's room, or if you've ever watched an episode of television, like, I think I could do that, or I have an idea for an episode, or I have a really fun thing that happened to me in my life that would make a great bit or make a great episode. Well, this is the place to volunteer that information. This is the place to come together in a creative community, and what I like to call throw creative spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Right now, we have this artificial intelligence. We found out that Simpsons indeed, in fact, have used that title in a Treehouse of Horror episode. Surprise, surprise. But we have come up with a story where Bart creates an AI app for prank calling Moe's Tavern because he has run out of ideas. So he uses AI to create the app, which becomes very popular. Bart sells his AI app to Mr. Burns, who has turned his attention towards data centers because he runs, of course, the nuclear power plant, and data centers eat up energy, and he just keeps paying himself in an endless cycle, endless scheming cycle. But during this period of enrichment, Bart becomes a tech bro CEO, like a Zuckerberg kind of type person. And we also talk about the ways in which Bart decides to spend his money, perhaps in the most insane ways possible. Usually a perk reserved for the Mr. Burns character. But here we get to have, how old is Bart? 10 years old, something like that? Perpetually 10? Indulge in the fantasy. So we have some ideas that we spitball, like Bart buying an entourage and a security team led by Nelson. We were kind of inspired by the UFC fight on the White House lawn and how ridiculous it is, and how all of those red-pilled tech bro types were really into it, and we thought maybe that would be something Bart would gravitate towards. Ethan Witt. Crazy. I was crazy once. I was crazy once. A rubber from a rubber. I don't really follow, but I appreciate your participation, Ethan. I think it's fantastic. Thanks for being here. Putting Flanders in an octagon or a church fight, or we were thinking, like, well, what's if the White House lawn was such a stupid place to put a UFC fight? Well, what's the worst place we could put a fight in Springfield? So we were thinking maybe the church that they all go to would be the most ridiculous. We could always workshop this. We have the Jebediah Springfield statue. That's kind of like the Springfield equivalent of a Washington monument, perhaps. That might be a cool pivot. I had some ideas for like who could be there and all this kind of stuff. And then we have this rising action followed by these false victories, that as the app becomes more popular, the data centers use more water and energy, and Springfield suffers from rolling blackouts or an energy crisis. That maybe Mr. Burns extorts Bart and shows the underbelly of the energy business. And we still have to kind of come up with an Act 3 resolution, like Bart using the last bit of his money to maybe donate it to an unexpected charity, but we do have to kind of like save Springfield, and we haven't really gotten to that part yet. And then we have our B story, something more tactile, something in contrast to AI. We have the Lisa storyline. So it's a Lisa and Bart centric driven story, where either Homer or Marge or both drive Lisa's saxophone into a bad part of Shelbyville, and it gets destroyed, stolen, or misplaced perhaps. And Lisa has to try a brand new saxophone at King Toot's Music Emporium, falls in love with how it plays, but she can't afford it. Nobody in the family can. At this point, Lisa maybe is asking Bart for money from the app. Lisa asks Bart for the saxophone, and he denies her because he's cruel, like most Tech Bro CEOs, right? And then we have Lisa trying to pull herself up from her bootstraps, starting a lemonade stand to raise the money. Can't raise the money, sells something precious to her to get the money. And then instead of Bart maybe buying Lisa the new saxophone, he generates a likeness of Bleeding Gums Murphy. Lisa has a very bad or visceral reaction. We talked about like the misuses of AI and Bart wanting to cause anarchy. But when she goes to buy it, it's been sold. Bart uses money and resources to track down Lisa's original saxophone, but Lisa's surprised to find that the person who purchased it was Bart, who was walking by when he heard her play it, which is probably not walking by as he heard her play it. That's a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina. But we wanted to give Bart a little bit of a redemption arc. But we still haven't figured out how Springfield solves the energy crisis, or some of our favorite characters in Springfield solve the energy crisis. So maybe we'll be talking about that today as well. Let's see. Oh, polka dotters. Are you moving to a new state? No. I'm just moving further west. Same apartment prices, same ridiculous apartment prices. A little more space, a little more quiet, which is every writer's dream, isn't it? Although those co-working streams sound great, honestly. Oh, good, yeah. Because as much as I love interacting and writing with everyone, I still have some of my own work to do. And if I'm not writing, then what authority do I have to call myself a writer and come over here and lead a digital writer's room? You know, I gotta stay active on my own projects as well. And sometimes it just takes an incredible amount of focus. And but I'd still like to participate. I'd still like to show people that I do work, and that you could do it with me. It'd be fun. I think I would be a lot different from some co-working streams, because I like to pace around, and I walk around to get my thoughts out, and then come back to the computer and type away until the inspiration runs dry, and then I have to let my mind wander again. And it's a lot of active thinking, is what I'll say. But polka dotters, how's it going with you? Let me see. How many more people do I want to get into this stream? Mookie, you're here. You haven't said anything. What up, Syph? How's it going? What are you up to? So many talented writers in one space. I really am lucky. It's true. We got Mookie. We got Cypher. We got polka dotters over on YouTube. Let me see here. All right. Well, y'all, here's what we're going to do. we are going to solve our Act 3 problem, because we haven't done that yet. And one of the reasons that you one of the ways that you figure that out is you try and tell the story in brief. Like I just ran down story A and story B, everything that we had talked about the previous weeks. And there's a fundamental problem that we hadn't solved, which was the data centers put Springfield in an energy crisis. Bart is responsible for it, and Bart needs to fix it. Whether that's him turning to Lisa and him and Lisa in the converging in their A and B story, work together to solve the problem, or he takes it upon himself, or the maybe another route to go would be that the data center is so inherently unstable that eventually it collapses in on itself. It's almost like it's self-cannibalizing because it doesn't generate anything good or worthy, or maybe it just literally sucks up all of the resources and it realizes it can't run without people. You know, maybe the AI solves itself. Maybe it finally becomes smart enough to realize that it doesn't need to be there. There's a bunch of different little routes that we can take. Hel Arata, hello, how's it going? Thanks for joining on the YouTube Vertical Live. For anybody who's just joining me, hi, and nice to see you. Thanks for stopping your scroll on me, appreciate it. What I'm doing is I'm writing a Simpsons spec script over on Twitch and YouTube Live. If that's something that you're interested in or like, feel free to follow a link and hop on over. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want to. You know, it's up to you. It's your life. Saif is just biding time until you sleep. Mookie's always here. How's work going? Did you have your budget meeting already, or are you in the middle of it? And also, Sugar, I just kind of wanted to show off the dog. Maybe you can see. That's the Boston Terrier. That's Sugar. She's on the ground. She's being very good. And let's see, I guess, hold on one second for the Twitchers. Is that better? You can see the top of her. She's kind of working on a bone right now, so I didn't really want to like interrupt her, but my gosh, she's so cute. I'm gonna do it. The internet loves dogs, right? It'll be fine. She'll forgive me, right? Just a real quick hello, and then you can get back to the bone. This is my co-writer. This is Sugar. She's my muse and my love, and soft and squishy, and could care less. But thank you. Thanks for making an appearance. I know. Go back to the bone. Okay. She's like, never do that again. Saif says, did you account for any freshwater sources around Springfield to address the water issue? Any room for some Lisa eco-terrorism? Yeah, I mean, sure, let's do it. I like that maybe Lisa's story can bookend with the saxophone, but of course, Lisa being an eco-warrior, you know, we have to, as writers, constantly ask ourselves the question, but what would really happen? And of course, Springfield is a cartoon, and these characters are fictitious, but we know through just years of being television watchers, we all kind of know Springfield canon. I think we know that Lisa's character wouldn't just kind of be passive. It's a great note, Saif, because what it tells me is that we need to make Lisa's character active. Right now she wants something and she can't get it, and it's out of her hands, but Lisa is also very much representative of like the left side of things, the progressive liberal side of things. What does that mean when they take action? So let's see. Let's add that to the board. Lisa Aspart for the saxophone. Let's see. Okay, here's what we need to. I'll put it here. But what I wanted to do today is, let's see, Lisa would take action whenever this happens, which probably needs to happen earlier. And I say this as the app becomes more popular, the data centers use more energy and water. Lisa becomes eco warrior against Bart. So now what we're realizing is that this saxophone is not the driving force. It's the bookmark. It's the bookend. It's almost like a cold open and a close. We should almost forget about the saxophone. We should almost forget about the saxophone. We'll be reminded by it whenever they generate the Bleeding Gums Murphy, almost as an insult to her artistic integrity in the middle of Act 2. So the saxophone now has a 3-act structure, but it's very light. And I would say, well, okay, how can Lisa be proactive? Who can she get on her side? And what steps does she take against the AI data center, right? Lisa is very much in the know. She wouldn't just be learning about this. She would already know the dangers of AI and be preaching the dangers to her family to basically no avail. That is the trope of Lisa's character in The Simpsons. So we know we owe a scene of Lisa warns Bart and family against the dangers of AI and data centers. Right? That's very much going to happen in Act 1. That's a setup. Let me get into the chat here. Yeah. Yeah, she's already torn through a large margin of my profits for doggy treats, Mook. I cook for her, and she gets sweet potato treats, and she gets bones, and she gets little podicures. This dog is doing okay. Let's see. Mookie says, budgets are set, just waiting on stories to edit. Slow reporters, long meeting tonight. Oh, or a long meeting night. Ugh. Seems like there's a lot going on in the news with the Supreme Court rulings, Mook. I'm surprised. Or maybe those were already reported on. I don't know. I don't know how the news works. Does anybody else know how the news works? Mookie, have any insight for us on tomorrow's news? Huh? Little insider baseball, maybe? Oh. Yeah, Sci-Fi made the same mistake. And assuming Mookie's budget meeting was about money. But no. Cognitively stunted at the moment. Well, don't worry. You don't need a lot of wits to be in this chat. Yeah, Scythe, we were developing stuff. We were developing like an original horror, and we were doing all this character development, and it was feature length, and we were working on it from the ground up, and every week I have to put a pin in it, come back, catch everybody up, go through all the work again. It would be different people in the chat, it just was like pulling teeth to get through in a way where everybody could like really participate and engage. Of course, Mookie, of course, Polka Dotters, and we have like some like really great reoccurring writers in the chat. However, it was just kind of proving to be a much bigger bite than what we were all willing to swallow. So this small pivot was the Simpson spec script, where we could all know the characters, all know the location, and kind of work together on something much shorter, a 30-minute animated episode, right? So let's see. Let me catch up in the chat. AI could give recommendations, bad ones, on how to replace the saxophone, but in the end, it was missing human touch by Homer. That was the answer. Oh, you know what? So, yes. I think there's probably a moment in the story where I don't know where this belongs yet, but frustrated, Lisa tries AI to figure out how to get her saxophone back. Gives terrible answers. And then you said something, but in the end, it was missing human touch. What was missing human touch? The saxophone, AI, and why Homer? And what does he have to do with it? So I can plug it into this. But it does. But I would like to see a scene of like, this would be like Lisa's lowest point, where Lisa is like has run out of options, doesn't know where to turn, and literally turns to her enemy in an effort to learn something. It almost makes me think that it gives terrible answers, but in the terrible answers, she becomes inspired to do something else. She still like solves the problem with her mind. The Associated Press. I'm just glad to be present at the moment. Well, I'm glad you're here too, Saif. Let's see. AI can give how to replace it. Let's see. The Associated Press has all the court stuff covered, and we include it. We focus on local news like city council meetings and where the mayor threatens to punch a council member. Yes, that's good reporting. It's always good to see you. Appreciate it. To give you all an update on me. Okay, so Cypher is saying, oh wait, hold on, sorry. Emily Curry, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Emily Curry. Thanks for sharing your time with us. If you're celebrating your birthday, thanks for being here and hanging out with us. We appreciate it, Emily. I know you're on YouTube Vertical Live, but if you want to see the stuff that we're writing about, be sure to click and follow the link and give me a like and subscribe if you want to. Up to you. It's your life. It's your birthday. Cypher says that an update that your sci-fi novel is on the query circuit, and I'm getting a spy thriller novella up to snuff to query it before dipping back into a fantasy novel that is 60K words, okay, into the first draft. So I'm doing what I can as I can. Sounds like you're doing a lot. I can see why maybe you're not all here at the moment. You've got like a bunch of stories like happening in your brain at once. Seems like you're pretty active and on it to me, but you know, to each his own. But I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to see your projects done, Saif. Would Lisa sacrifice her sax for a greater cause? Very interesting question. And I would say, in what way can we tie that into the plot? But yes, I think you're asking the right questions, right? We kind of need to torture our characters a little bit in order to make the story as rich as possible. Is Lisa willing to sacrifice her saxophone for the, I'll put it in quotes, for the cause? All right, so if that's true, Scythe, then Lisa, then we also owe a scene of Lisa gets the new saxophone that plays like a dream. Before that, this moves up. And now Lisa, like, gets her old saxophone back. So, original saxophone. So instead of Bart using money to solve the problem, which isn't a strong character choice, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And Bart uses his money to track down Lisa's original saxophone, which is a stronger character choice and a stronger redemption arc for Bart in the end. And I'm glad you asked that, Scythe. It's a great question that inspired a great storyline, story point. Let me see. 1 second. If anyone wants to skip the ads, join me on YouTube. There you go. That's how we solve that problem. Okay. So, we have... You're back? Okay, cool. And I'm sure you saw that, Scythe. If you want to skip the ads, go on YouTube. Got a link there, and there's a small lag, but honestly, it's better than stopping and starting all the time. Also, thank you for that, for lobbing the question into the air. What is Lisa willing to sacrifice for the greater cause? I think that makes makes Bart's character arc stronger, and it also makes Lisa more active. And remember, our goal is to, oh my God, Mookie, thank you so much for gifting Scythe the sub to the channel. That's so nice of you. That's incredible. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. But you're the man, Mook. We have to kind of torture our characters, right? It's kind of the hardest thing for me as a writer. I am always fighting the inclination to make everything work out warmly with a nice soft ending. I'm always fighting resolve. I'm always fighting early resolves and quick, warm, easy resolves, right? So I think what you offer is a chance for both the A and the B storyline to have some depth to it, really, to the characters, to have them a little bit more 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, 1 second. Is this? Okay. All right. So, let's see here. What I want to do now is kind of read through this again. Oh, you know what? We had this little thing over here. Vehicle in which to tell the story. Legal thriller like Aaron Brockovich, Spotlight, etc. Expose style. Blogger, influencer style, YouTube channel-esque. We can still play around with that form. But I'm going to do a little bit of reorganizing, and I want you guys to help me, if you don't mind. Lori PL Live, maybe? Larip Live? Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me on the YouTube Vertical Live. I'm just on Twitch and YouTube Live writing a Simpsons spec script with some really cool writer friends. So, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our digital whiteboard here, and we're going to start reformatting. And I'm going to start reformatting from left to right, and we're going to start pulling these. We're going to start turning them into these little index cards, right? And we are going to start organizing our scenes in a linear fashion. And this is also going to reveal some plot holes. Okay? So we have a guidepost. What do we want to see first? I think... Do we want to open up with our B story? We want to open up with our A story. I think traditionally it's probably wisest to open up with an A story. But here I'm also having the idea of if Homer and Marge are driving Lisa's saxophone into a bad part of Shelbyville and it gets destroyed, stolen, or misplaced, that also leaves Bart at home to do the AI app prank, is what I'm thinking. So, let's open up with this. What's wrong with Lisa's saxophone? And remember, it's not only what's wrong with Lisa's saxophone, it's what's wrong with Lisa's saxophone in an episode of The Simpsons. Did Homer try and use it as a beer mug? Excuse me. Woo. Did he accidentally sit on it and left a giant ass dent in it, and now it doesn't play the right way anymore? Did he try and wear it as a hat while he was drunk? And, you know, I don't know. But this is kind of something that we pitch, right, in the writer's room. We can either open with maybe Homer breaking the sax, or the sax having already been broken and they're on their way. I think opening up with a car ride with like an angry Lisa in the back on their way to Shelbyville, and them talking and explaining, well, if your father didn't sit on the saxophone, is a little expositional and a little passive and a little slow. I personally vote for us seeing Homer break the saxophone in the first place. Can we agree on that? We can see like opening scene. We'll put it in the proper place. Homer breaks Lisa's saxophone. Okay. And I'm going to move this over. Don't freak out, everybody. But we're going to start labeling things. I'll bring Act 1 over from here. We're going to start looking at this in like a left to right sort of situation. And can I choose a font color? Let's change the color maybe. I wish I could choose show colors. Text color. Oh. I want to change the color of the notepad. But looks like we're going to have to settle for text color. Is blue crazy? Is it too close to black? Let's do red maybe? Let's try and make them as distinct as possible. So everything on Lisa's storyline becomes red, and everything on the Bart storyline becomes black. And let's see. How can we make it metaphorical? Cypher freaks out. And here's what I'm also going to do. I'm going to do the little Southpark bit of either but / therefore. So Southpark guys have always said that if they can't move from scene to scene without using but or therefore to get there, they know that they're in trouble. So we're literally going to put this but or therefore that leads us to our next scene, right? So Homer breaks Lisa's saxophone, therefore he and Marge have to drive her to Shelbyville to get her a new one, right? And that's also that but in doing so, they leave Bart at home. Therefore, he uses the time to prank call Mo. But he has run out of things to trick him into saying, right? So now we can see how the top of the story is going to progress. And remember, this is still kind of a rough outline. We're going to like hone in on each of these individual scenes. And we're going to like pitch ideas, like how does Homer break Lisa's saxophone? We should have like 20 ideas from the writers, and we'll pick the one that makes us laugh the most or the couple that makes us laugh the most, see if we can combine them or not. Okay, so here we go. Let me bold that. But therefore, and now we have a new one, which is Homer and Marge must drive Lisa into Shelbyville for a new saxophone. This is still the, where's the colors? This is still Lisa's storyline. And then we have but therefore. I almost want to make this shorter. This is going to get too long if I do it that way. Therefore, Bart is left alone at home and prank calls Mo's Tavern. I can leave that black in font. Shrink that down. And we're starting to see the opening act of this story progressing. Let's see. Let me check the chat. What if Homer uses an AI suggestion to clean or do something for Lisa Sachs? Oh, Bart sees an opportunity to make money off idiots, and Lisa gets pissed at AI. Yeah. So we do have like a story kind of already built out, but what I like about that, Scythe, is that this kind of is a good idea for pitching because it keeps everything in theme. You have, what if Homer uses an AI suggestion and it ruins Lisa's saxophone? I like that keeps the story insular. So Homer uses AI and breaks Lisa's saxophone. And how we've done that, we don't know yet, but it's cool. Yes, Bart will see it. Yeah, that's kind of already part of the storyline. We're gonna get there for sure. Lisa getting pissed at AI. Yeah, she kind of goes into eco warrior mode, 100%. So if you're on the right track. Let's see, double whammy. Love butts and therefores. Yeah, I love butts and therefores, and I cannot lie. He could see something that frightens him. He screams, the classic Homer scream that we all know, right? Ah! And uses the saxophone to kill or fight it. Swinging wildly, missing, hitting a wall, swinging again. AI, yes. Or AI tells, like, if we're going to start combining ideas, AI tells Homer to use Lisa's saxophone to kill something or to fight off something. Or maybe even he uses AI and gets frightened of the AI because of how it hallucinates, maybe, and uses the saxophone to bash in the laptop. Now they have to go to Shelbyville for the saxophone and the laptop. All good, Scythe. You do what you got to do. It is very much like Homer to overdo it with a with a saxophone, with like doing something terrible with the saxophone, and you just know it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So maybe AI tells Homer to use Lisa's saxophone to fight off something. Repeated blows damage the sax. Then we have but therefore. So Homer and Marge must drive Lisa into Shelbyville for a new saxophone. Bart is left alone at home and prank calls Moe's Tavern. But therefore, Bart has run out of ideas or ways to trick Moe. Uses an old one. Moe catches on. Therefore, if Homer was using AI, then maybe he didn't swing it at the laptop. Maybe it's still in the house. And we have a but therefore. Therefore, Bart turns to AI to start generating new ideas. I'm almost thinking, I'm getting an instinct here to include Milhouse in this. somebody's got to tell Bart that this is a good idea that he can make millions off of, because the people in the bar aren't going to tell him. Moe's certainly not going to tell him or reward him for his behavior. But if we have somebody on the other line with Bart, if we have like a Nelson or if we have a Milhouse who is normally if we have a Milhouse who's normally just kind of yes-anding Bart, maybe we can get that going. Okay. Here's what I would say with the AI tells Homer to disassemble it and clean it, but the AI refuses to tell him how to reassemble it. So he puts it back together the best way he can, which is awful, which I love that idea. But we have to talk about like why Homer is cleaning it. Seems like its own story right there. How can we immediately understand why Homer needs to, and not to mention like stay in character, right? It's not in character for Homer to voluntarily clean Lisa's saxophone unless it's Act 3 after he's screwed up or he's missed a recital and he's trying to redeem himself. These are the Simpsons tropes. They're not my rules. This is just how they roll. So come up with a good reason why, or he still has to kind of like break it and he's using AI to ask him how to reassemble it, but he still can't get it. He spilled beer on it. Let me see. Spilling. Okay, so let's see. Which is awful. Bart knows that every tech bro is really a nerd, so he seeks out the biggest one that he knows. Oh, and so okay, that's also very in character for Bart to use Milhouse to help him with the AI, right? It's even more Bart and more Zucker Bart for him to steal the idea from Milhouse. And maybe that's how our Act 3 resolve can be, like if Milhouse sues Bart for the money and everything shuts down because it was an illegal company in the first place or something like that, right? Okay, so let's go back retroactively. Bart is left alone at home. Bart and Milhouse are left alone at home and prank call Moe's Tavern. Moe catches on. Milhouse advises Bart to use AI. Therefore, they prank call Moe with some successfully. But, therefore, Milhouse says that if they made an app out of this, they could be billionaires. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the therefore in here as well, just because this is going to be one scene. Therefore, they use AI to create the prank phone call app. Okay. First act's coming along. First act's cooking, but also starting to notice a little red here is the black's kind of outgrowing the red. So we're trying to keep a good, healthy balance between our A story and our B story. So in between, so what we do need to do is jump through time here, right? So the app needs to be developed. It kind of needs to take off, do its own thing. But what's happening with Lisa while we do that? Let's catch up on Lisa's story in order to move through time. That way, whenever the next beat of Bart's prank calling app becoming popular happens, it'll feel like we've naturally moved through time. Let's see. Homer spilled onion dip into the sacks while cheering for a sports team. That makes sense. That tracks for Homer. Spilled beer on it. Yeah. I once spilled a Sprite over my dashboard during an 80-mile-per-hour turn on a highway and made all of my buttons sticky forever. I like that. Okay, so we seem to be going back to pitching how Homer broke Lisa's saxophone. How did Homer break Lisa's sax? We have spilled beer, and I'm going to put and onion dip on it while watching a football game, or was it the Adams? An Adams, Springfield Adams game? Buttons are very sticky. A problem that I'm seeing with that is it's kind of easy to get a saxophone cleaned. It's harder to, how do we break it to where Lisa doesn't have it anymore? To really set us up for her not being able to get what she wants until the end of this story. I think it takes, unless he's trying to, but wait. You were saying that, forgive me, you were saying that Homer disassembles it and uses AI to reassemble it after cleaning and can't do it. Okay, so that was how we got there. Okay. What else? Something frightens him. Something frightens Homer, and he uses Lisa's saxophone as a weapon. And Scythe, yep, you have caught on, my friend. That's exactly where we're at. So yeah, Bart has run out of ways to trick Moe. He uses an old one. Moe catches on, but therefore Milhouse advises Bart to use AI to start generating new ideas. But therefore they prank call Moe successfully. Therefore Milhouse says that if they made an app out of this, they could be billionaires. Therefore they use AI to create a prank phone call app that kind of catapults us into this story. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm just catching you up. You could just, if you're tired, don't even worry about it. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. But also, and if anything, you missing that is proof that your instincts are on par. You're feeling the rhythm of the episode like you should. It means that we're doing our job too. It's definitely a good thing. Don't even sweat it, baby. Let's see. Yeah, of course. Sprite is perhaps the stickiest of all the carbonated, most stickiest of all the carbonated sodas. Heard that. Heard that. Okay. Let me take a look at our story B. What have we done? We've gotten to the app creation. We've got the catalyst, the inciting incident, rather, the broken saxophone. Marge and Lisa driving Lisa into Shelbyville. Or if we want to stay out of Shelbyville, to King Toots Music Emporium. They don't have to be away for long. They don't have to go all the way to Shelbyville. He's asked Bart for a saxophone. Doesn't make sense here. Bart sells his AI to Mr. Burns, who is now into AI and data centers. Bart becomes a tech bro CEO like Zuckerberg. Okay, so we have a time jump issue. What is happening where when we get back, Lisa does not have her saxophone and time has passed? Is it impossible? Is it impossible to clean? Who runs King Toots, by the way? Who runs King Toots Music Emporium in Springfield on The Simpsons? Has that ever been explored? Are we about to create a new character? No, we are not. King Toot's Music Emporium is run by a man named Jer, or King Toot, who is voiced by actor and comedian Will Forte, which I love. Let me just hear his voice. King Toot. Character, The Simpsons. Love Will Forte. Okay, this guy's got a mustache. He's got chest hair. Let's see. Can I? Give me a second. I'm going to put him up on the screen. Everybody get ready to see King Toot here. Images. Okay. Hold. Need a image capture? Image. King Toot. Browse my. Okay, it's gonna happen. Here he comes. This is King Toot, everybody. This is King Toot. So keep this guy in mind whenever you are writing. Why can't this guy fix Lisa's saxophone? How long is it going to take? Is it irreparable? Yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, there he goes. I'm worried about a copyright strike, to be honest. Let me check the chat. Hey, first time chatter, sporadic flare ear 9 blooks. Oh, and it's viewers on Stream Boom. Oh, that's so sad. Wah, wah. Goodbye forever. You're banned, bots. Don't go getting another copyright strike. Hopefully that wasn't on too long. I feel like I could dispute that. right? I think it's just an image. It's got to be okay. Also, Tim Watts. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you here on the YouTube Vertical Live. Be sure to come and join us on Twitch and YouTube Live if you want to keep writing with us. And yeah, let's keep going. So, writers, why can't King Toot easily repair Lisa's saxophone? What makes it impossible? Or does it immediately get stolen? We were talking about, we have plot points here where Bart uses some of his money and resources to track down Lisa's original saxophone. So how about this? Back at King Toot's, and maybe we have to do a little bit of reorganizing. But therefore, maybe all this gets moved down. New saxophone. To repair her saxophone. But Lisa finds a better saxophone that plays like a dream. All right, we talked about that. I'm going to go ahead and make this our red color for Lisa's story. And then we have the next but therefore, which is but the Simpsons can't afford it. So we're having this fundamental problem of Lisa has no saxophone and a new saxophone that they can't afford. And so she goes home saxophoneless. And I'm pretty sure that's the scientific version of the word. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so I'd almost say like the end of Act 1 is the Simpsons, Homer, Marge, Maggie, and Lisa arrive home saxophoneless. We know that Lisa's going to pitch against the idea of an AI data center, right? Let's see, format, color, red. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. We don't know how this is going to turn out. Well, we got to get it up on the board. Oh, you got to bail? That's cool. I appreciate you being here, Sci-Fi. You got to take care of yourself. And if you need sleep, get sleep. Sleep is so, so important. And I had fun with you. I'm glad you got to come and hang out as long as you did. Be excellent. Take care of one another. Righteous. Okay, so I'm realizing I'm getting into the chat here. So I'll leave the last but therefore. I'll put this here. Remember where, this will be fun. I do this thing? Can I do this thing? But therefore, and then I'll throw like a little arrow in there. Oh wait, I have this. I don't need this crazy line. Although this is pretty thick. I don't want to get hung up. No, that's wrong too. Okay, we'll just go back to the way it was, which is from here all the way to here. And I'll just put a stupid little arrow on it. Make it small. Turn it black. And flip it around. Oh. And flip it around. And flip it around. There we go. Little surgery. Yeah, a little surgery there. So we're just going to stack some of these on top so we can stay visually in place, okay? All right, that's something we just had to do. This is really attached to The Simpsons Can't Afford It. Homer, Marge, Maggie, and Lisa arrive home, saxophoneless. Bart. Therefore, Bart reveals he's created an AI prank call app. Get our button therefore back going again. But therefore, Lisa warns Bart against the dangers of AI. Almost makes me think that maybe the Simpsons do have the money to repair the saxophone, and they have to choose between whether or not they're going to give Bart the money for the startup or Lisa the money to repair the saxophone. How do you guys feel about that? Tim Watts. Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing good. And Gabriel, what's up? We're writing a Simpsons spec script right now. If you hop on over to the Twitch and YouTube live, you can participate in the building of Act 1. We are fleshing out moment to moment what happens in our Act 1, where we introduce the characters, have an inciting incident, introduce a catalyst, and set up the episode for the rest of Act 2 and Act 3. So if you would like to see the digital whiteboard that we're working on and see the content that we're talking about, feel free to go and, one, like and subscribe, but two, go check out the Twitch or YouTube channel in the link above. Hope that helps. And let's see. Anybody in the YouTube? Okay, perfect. We're all caught up. Are we seeing this? It's still a little... I'll do what I can. I just want to... I know my stupid little face is getting in the way. Okay, so... And I can clearly see how Bart might but it would be very Bart to Bart interrupts her speech with an AI prank call. We might even be able to do a little time jump. You know, 1 week later or something if we need to. Dun, 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 dun. You could almost hear the music play as time passes in Springfield. Let's go back and check some of our story A, story B plots. What would happen next? We'd have to see Bart's technology becoming popular. We have to see Lisa, pretending to play saxophone, perhaps. And almost like Lisa's story trending down as Bart begins his ascension. That almost makes me feel like we're in Act 2. We're delivering on the promise of the premise, right? So maybe our Act 1 and Act 2 is separated by a week's time. Maybe we see Lisa practicing on paper mache. Whoops. Saxophone, and it collapses in her fingers. Let's go ahead and make that red. But therefore, I feel like Bart might gloat and flaunt his new wealth. And Lisa's face. Honestly, this feels attached. This feels in the same scene. You see what I mean? Does anybody else feel that? Because it's not really a true but or therefore. But the gloating might inspire an action. Wouldn't it? Don't you think? Mookie says, Lisa sobbing in her room while Bart is trying to get an old computer Radio Shack TSR-80 to program an AI. He knows he needs help from a nerd. He types in the computer how to stop annoying sister from crying. And the response is that a puff of smoke comes out of the old computer. I would say this. I would say the reason that we skip ahead, Mook, is that the AI has already been built. We don't need to see the building of the thing. I don't think the episode is really about like him needing help to build the AI. It's more like you already can use AI to build an app. This is more about like this is more like capitalism versus artists, metaphorically speaking, right? Like here we see like Lisa at least trying to find a tactile way to produce art, while we see on the counter side of this, Bart having used some other type of intelligence to enrich himself, not having really done the work. And the thing behind how we're going to make things worse for Bart is actually by how fast this progresses. We can make things bad for a character, even though the character doesn't know that it's necessarily bad for them. They don't have the wherewithal to Bart wouldn't have the wherewithal to create parameters or safeguards, or know not how to hurt people's feelings. Like, what makes a prank call go too far? An AI might not know that if Bart didn't think to program it, right? So less about like the creation of the thing from an old computer trying to create it, and more about like the careless ease in which AI empowers people who think they might have a cool idea, but in actuality, that idea can be turned against society in some sort of way. Here we could also like still be using Millhouse. He's a really great tool. Bart, you can't just ask AI to make a prank call app. You have to establish parameters so it doesn't blah, 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 blah. Shut up, Millhouse, right? Hits him with something in a slingshot, knocks him out, types into the laptop, creates. Let's see, I would say we can come up with a new name for AI, like the Simpsons version of AI, like Talk ETC instead of Chat GPT, or instead of Claude. Could be Claude. Claude kind of reminds me of a French name, so maybe it could be like Jacques or something like that. Gemini, a take on Gemini could be Leo, like if we're talking about signs of the horoscope. Virgo, something like that. Not too funny though. What else is there? Copilot, just pilot, or stewardess, maybe. You know, like, what are we going to name this AI that's already existing? I like the idea of Lisa sobbing, though. Mookie, I think it's good to like show the state. I think that'll happen probably somewhere towards the middle of Act 2, like Lisa's lowest point. Let's see here. So we have let's get rid of that. Collapses in her fingers. But therefore, what if that distracts Millhouse? Lisa's sadness distracts Millhouse from thoroughly warning Bart about establishing parameters with AI. Leaves Bart unsupervised, right? So we can infer that he's already got a nerd's help. The nerd's just not doing him any good. Therefore, Bart thinks he doesn't need Millhouse and types in to, I'll call it Jacques, what he wants, and the app is created. So this kind of gets moved. I prank call him successfully. This, let's move to here. Sorry for the crudeness. Oh, it's attached. I didn't know I could do that. Huh. Okay, let's see here. He could have or mull over a list of names to choose from, thinking that's really the most important part. Maud, Aquarius, Hope, and AI. I like those. Hold on, let's see. Here's something else we'll do, which is Bart's, or what is the Simpsons version of AI? And remember, Bart is not creating AI. AI already exists. It's not a new concept. It's not a novel concept. What we're doing is we're creating AI for Springfield. Simpsons canon. What do the Simpsons already use AI? Like Homer's already using it, right? To maybe ruin Lisa's saxophone. The AI exists. Just what are we calling it? Period. No more difficult than that. But we have Aquarius. We have Hope in AI, which one of my favorites. We have Maud instead of Claude. I like the idea that the voice could be a bitter old woman. We have Jacques, could be a snooty French kind of voice when it comes time to write the scene. Okay. So Milhouse, distracted by Lisa's sadness, maybe sensing an opportunity to move in, make his Milhouse move, leaves Bart to his own devices, and Bart recklessly creates the app. This also feels like this could be now back in Act 1 with this app being created being the inciting incident, and we can still visit the Simpsons a week later. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, all right, that's right. The story A is taking a little longer, more precedent, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. Okay, guys, let's break into Act 2. But also, everybody give yourselves a round of applause. We just kind of wrote an Act 1 sequence of The Simpsons. Is it finished? No. Will it change? Absolutely. Is it perfect? By all means, no. These are just a bunch of ideas and we haven't really written the scenes. I get it, but you have to celebrate every little victory. This is one of them. Feels like Act 1 has been kind of completed, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my liquid. I'm going to keep the old mouth hydrated. I'm going to put on like a little hydration break video. I'm going to fill up, and then I'm going to come right back, and then we're going to do some Act 2, okay? So, if you got pets, pet them. If you got cups, fill them. If you're working on anything, hit save. Hit save. Now is the time to do it. So, here we go. A quick little hydration break video.
Hey everybody, let's take a break. Get up and stretch your legs. Give your pet a scratch, drink some water. I'll be right back in about 10 minutes or so. break is done. I hope you had some fun. I'm feeling great, can't procrastinate, cause I should be writing, so let's get back to the
All right, we're back. Isn't that fun? Everybody remember that from back in the day? Okay, we got Mookie MC grabbing his drinky drink. Polka Dotters still kicking around. All right, so Mook, of course, no pressure, but I don't mind waiting for you to get back as well. I don't mind, not at all, not one bit. Not for the writer of Love on the Range. So how do we break into Act 2? Big question. Big question. Or where do we start? Well, the truth is that it's still a continuation of Act 1 with the but and therefore transition, right? Where everything kind of bleeds into one another and it feels a little natural. But here we can move into time. This is essentially a commercial break as well. So when you come back, you kind of get caught up on the reality and you can assume a lot of things, a lot of the more boring things that we don't have to work through whenever we move through time. We can literally show Bart's immediate success by having his treehouse completely tricked out in a tech bro kind of way. No more funky wooden steps haphazardly nailed to a tree trunk. We can give him a glass elevator that goes up to the treehouse with an all-glass 360 view of Springfield. And, you know, what else does like a tech bro CEO treehouse, what could that look like? Big Three Prods, what's up? And Marcelin, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for stopping, scrolling on me. I appreciate it. Just writing a Simpson spec script. That's kind of what I do. If you're into writing at all, or if you're into The Simpsons, feel free to, you know, 1, like and subscribe, of course, but 2, I have a link to Twitch and YouTube Live if you want to see the big digital whiteboard that we work on and help us craft a Simpsons episode together. I think that'd be fun. You're doing good? Excellent. Tyler, hi, how you doing? My day was great. I had a good one. Woke up early, got a lot of sunshine, did a little work, came back home, and now I'm online with you, you know? Big Three Prods. Is that Productions? I feel like it's Productions. Maybe. I don't know. No problem, man. Not into Simpsons, but sounds interesting. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever watched, TV and ever felt like, ooh, it might be fun to have been in one of those writers' rooms. Well, if you've ever had that thought, maybe this is for you. But also, still, if not, happy to have you here. Happy to hang. What part of the world are you in? And what have you been doing? Have you been keeping up with the World Cup today? What's the deal? What's your deal? What do you do? Yeah, man. My suit didn't get finished being dry cleaned, and there was no way I was gonna show up to a furry convention in a damp suit. I think you know that, okay, Agent? Uh, Subscribe. Thanks, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're from Wisconsin. Really, just play basketball. Love it. That's fantastic. I've never been to Wisconsin, actually. Um, what's the weather like right there? Is it still cold or no? You're getting into summer? It's funny. I know you play basketball. The other day, true story. I live in Los Angeles. Ran into Scottie Pippen. He was so tall. It was incredible. And I had a brief interaction with the screenwriter who wrote Hoosiers and Rudy. And I got to tell him, he was like, "Oh, you're probably not old enough to remember this movie that I did. And it's called Rudy, blah, blah, blah." And I do. Objects in the mirror are older than they appear. I was like, no. I'm old enough to remember Rudy, and I got to compliment him on it. And I believe my compliment was, I was like, you can't talk about an underdog story or a great sports story in screenwriting without referencing Rudy. And it's a touchstone film for so many writers. And he was like, oh, thank you, man. And I was like, that was really cool that I even got to tell the writer of Rudy that. Sometimes life is pretty amazing. Mookie says, a foosball table with a team and players, the Adams, and the other team, the Shelbyville Sharks. Oh, wait. You're talking about Bart's, Tech Bro house, Tech Bro tree house. Let's pitch ideas of what could be in Bart's Tech Bro Dream Clubhouse. I would even say, like, take it a step further, holographic foosball table with the Adams and Shelbyville Sharks. By the way, you liked and subscribed. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, I know you're not into writing too much, but just the fact that you stopped and even spent some time with me, cool. Thank you so much. You love Rudy, yeah. Oh yeah. You're having a heat wave too. Understandable. Yeah. My goodness, a heat wave in Wisconsin. Massive heat wave in Europe. Global warming, guys. It's real. Shadow Star, thanks for the quote. Appreciate you. Zach 144 H1Q. Gone as a Doberman, like Doberman, like a dog, maybe. Big Prod says, I only run into Sam Decker and Jeff Wolf, who is Joe Wolf's brother. Oh, that's cool. I mean, hey, it's still cool. Both live in Wisconsin and travel around state playing pickups. I just see Jeff Wolf around sometimes when he's traveling. That's so cool. I love that they're still kicking it around Wisconsin. I do, David? Oh, thank you so much. Never heard my voice described as calming before. I feel like I'm always rushing through conversation and I don't know, in a small panic to make sure the writing gets done. But let me ask you this. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. I appreciate that. Can I ask the audience a question, even if you're not into writing, just to help me out over here? We're writing a Simpsons spec script where Bart invents an app using AI to basically have never-ending prank phone calls to like Moe's Tavern and stuff, and it's very successful, and he gets a lot of money. And we're trying to visually show that Bart is becoming a tech bro. And so, what do you think is in Bart's clubhouse or treehouse that he's had all modified? I was thinking like a glass elevator up the small tree trunk. I think something else is like always with a Bluetooth headset. Maybe that's dated though. Is that 2026? Maybe it's like AirPods now. Bart always has AirPods in or on. Yeah, I had Jeff Wolf as a coach for 2 years. I bet. That's so cool. Oh, thank you, David. I appreciate that. I hope I am. I don't want to toot my own horn, but that's my personality. I find myself to be kind and honest. It takes so much effort to lie. It's not even worth the energy to try and keep up with it. You know, I learned that a long time ago. I don't know if you'll use this, but you should use like Meta glasses. No, that's great. That's great. It'd be funny to kind of spoof Terminator, where if you remember the Terminator movies where everything's kind of like in red vision and they have the old like scrolling data on the side where it's like zooming in on somebody's face and is like, is this John Connor or something like that? So we could do like a Meta glasses Terminator parody. And what I like about that is that this Me Alpha came in with my little dancing shark. Thank you so much, Me Alpha. I was worried, honestly. I was worried that you weren't going to show. What I like about that Big Prods is that this is an episode about AI, and everything that Bart is earning, he hasn't earned himself. AI has gotten it for him. So any smart maneuver that Bart decides to make from here on out in the episode, if he's wearing those glasses, you know, now it's almost like Bart is the host to AI and not the other way around, which is a really great, what we call a midpoint in a story, like a great midpoint realization. So that's a great idea. I'm glad you suggested it. Thank you so much. Me Alpha, oh my God, is this another icon? Hey guys, what's up? Me Alpha, I know you like to lurk and just do icons, but it's just nice to see. One, it's nice to see you. And two, how are you doing? If you feel free to answer. If you want to go back to lurking, that's fine too. Just appreciate you being here, of course. Big Prod says, yeah, is AI going to turn against Bart? And no. And of course, yes. Absolutely. More so than turn against Bart, which I would like to see it do. It is also going to turn against the city of Springfield. There is a secondary plot device where Mr. Burns is, of course, head of Springfield Nuclear Energy, and he's supplying energy to Springfield. But he's also a rich billionaire tycoon, and he's getting into data centers. And we know that data centers consume vast amounts of energy and resources and electricity. And so if he is the supplier and consumer of his own product, then he basically has a monopoly on the town that generates endless wealth just for himself while stripping resources away from Springfield. That's kind of like the big plot that unfolds. Okay, good, me alpha. Thank you for the additional emojis. It's just nice to know you're doing good. Yeah, big prods. Yeah, exactly. A giant data center. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read the thing before that you said. There's a giant one going up in Wisconsin in Port Washington, I believe. Oh, cool. The MMA Unk says you kind of remind me of Kevin Connolly. I don't know who that is, but I'm willing to give it a Google. And I hope it's good. Oh. Oh, yeah. I like Kevin Connolly. Yes, Entourage, but I remember him from Unhappily Ever After because that TV show had a puppet in it, and I, of course, loved Mr. Floppy as well. That's just, but that's just me. Let's see. The MMA Unk. You love the puppet. Oh, so you know, yeah, that was such a good show. So sad to see it go. It was like an even more twisted Married with Children, you know? They were like, let's do Married with Children, but let's put a puppet in there. And you know what? It worked. It worked for me. Shadow Star coming in with a Bible verse. I'm just glad you're here. Thanks so much for, taking the time. Okay, y'all, we've been talking about the Bart's Tech Bro Dream Clubhouse. Anything else? What else is like inherently tech bro-y? I know I think of like oligarchs, so like the first thing I think of was like either a high class doomsday bunker or a super yacht. But I'm thinking this is in the Simpsons' backyard. So maybe, I don't know, like jetpacks, something ridiculous. This doesn't apply, but Mark Zuckerberg on one of those like surfing foils, you know what I mean? The self-propelling surfboards that I see people on in the ocean. Yeah, the MMA Unk. Oh yeah, I should catch you up real fast while everybody else brainstorms. Please brainstorm, dear writers. So if you follow my link, MMA Unk, you're going to see a link to Twitch and YouTube Live where we stream. Oh, I'm still in full screen here. I'm sorry, y'all. Where I have a big digital whiteboard, and we're writing a Simpsons spec script together. And let me go ahead and line that up. So these are the ideas that we were shopping around about Bart's Tech Bro Dream House. The reason that we're writing a Simpsons spec script is that it's pretty easy for anybody to jump in. Most people are familiar with The Simpsons. It's only 30 minutes long, and you kind of already know the characters, right? So even though, forgive me, Big Three Prods is in Wisconsin, and he balls and doesn't have a lot of interest in writing. He just gave us a really cool tech bro-y thing with the meta glasses, with smart glasses, and we'll also be able to do this cool little Terminator parody just based off of his suggestion alone. I don't know what the world looks like through meta glasses, but we can have our own Simpsons version of it, which would be really fun. It would also be really fun if Lisa is trying to warn Bart against, I don't want to have a redundant scene, but brothers and sisters argue, especially Lisa and Bart. And if Bart uses AI to generate all of his comebacks that frustrate Lisa, even if they're not making sense. He's just saying them. We can see how like dependent he's becoming on AI, and how easily Lisa can dismiss them, but not outpace him. Yeah, big prods like some fancy watch. Yeah, or advanced computer. Exactly. Maybe the computer that we're gonna name either Aquarius, OpenAI, Maud, or Jacques. But like maybe the AI has its own monitor. Here, let me scroll down a little bit. And what else did you say? Fancy watch. Bart has bling fancy watch. Maybe diamond encrusted? You know, so we'll build the world visually. Screenplay writing is a visual medium. Television writing is a visual medium. And we could put all of this in like one line and immediately grasp how we've moved through time, the state of Bart's wealth, and everything like that. Let's see. Oh, yeah? Well, thanks, MMA Unk. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to, or come and see the digital whiteboard, and you can kind of see us pitching. You could see the structure of the story if that interests you, or if you want to just sit on the sideline and like lob ideas into the chat, we'll take them. We just really encourage participation and creativity. And if you want to just lurk, you can do that too. No pressure. And this is a no pressure, fun, creative period of time that we have here. Oh, you couldn't find any links? Let me see here. You can go to twitch.tv/ Derek DeNicola, writer. Or you should be able to click on my profile here in YouTube Live, and it should take you to my YouTube page. And on my YouTube page, I have a live channel where you can see the big horizontal screen as well. I have two lives running. One is going to be the vertical, and the other one is going to be the horizontal. And you'll see me in a tiny little square in the top right corner, and the big digital whiteboard on the board. Oh, thanks, Honk. I appreciate that. Thank you for the sub. Mookie has some strange modern-looking device. Oh, you're pitching something. Mookie says, have some strange modern-looking device, spinning and glowing on a display stand. And when asked what it does, Bart says he has no idea, but it must be important because it looks so cool. I like it. And you know what this does, Mook? This is what you're setting up here is a little bit of Chekhov's gun, isn't it? We're calling attention to it. A spinning, fancy. I'm just going to give it some sort of shape. I'll say like Dyson sphere. Kinetic statue. Bart has no idea what it does. But I will say, what will make a joke land harder is really, still having trouble. Can I put a link in here? What do I do here? Sorry. 1 second here. Let me see if I can. me see here. Can I put something? A sticker. Maybe I'll put a sticker. Countdown. Nope. Whoops. Text. No. Trying to figure this out in real time. Hey, I'll just have to tell you. I'm so sorry. As you're going to find out, I'm not that great with technology. Wonderful with story, terrible with technology. But you can go to twitch.tv/Derek DeNicola Writer. That's DerrickDenicola Writer. Or you can go to youtube.com/Derek DeNicola. That's DerrickDenicola. You can also just Google my name in YouTube. One more time. That's DerrickDenicola. And then YouTube, and it should give you it should get you in some clickable distance. Oh, you found it. Oh, there you are. Oh, fantastic. Man, you just popped up fast. Of course. Awesome. Okay. So now we're back on it. So these are the suggestions. I'm just going to, everybody keep brainstorming. I'm just going to kind of catch up MMA Unk here. So this is all the work that we've been doing. We divided things into storyline A and storyline B, and we've been at work before you got here, right? But what we're doing is we're trying to move this into something a little bit more visually appealing. We normally read from left to right, so we're starting here. We worked our way across. The screen space is limited, so we have this little clunky arrow here. And we're developing the story by beats. We haven't really written out the scene in detail yet, but this is giving us a linear outline. And how do we make a linear outline? How does one idea propel us into the next idea and have everything make sense, right? And have everything fall into place in an honest way. Well, we use but and therefore in between each scene. And if we can't use that, then we're kind of in trouble. If we start using and then, we run the risk of being rambling, of being boring, of being unrealistic because things don't have causation. So here's our story so far. And I will just say it out loud to catch everybody back up. AI tells Homer to use Lisa's saxophone to fight or kill off something, or we haven't decided exactly how yet. Actually, I was still humoring ideas here, but we do know that Homer destroys Lisa's saxophone. And we have ideas down here, right? How did Homer break Lisa's sax? And we brainstorm that, and then the one that we like, that fits the story the best, we'll end up writing in this scene. But Homer destroys Lisa's saxophone. Therefore, Homer and Marge must drive Lisa into King Toot's music emporium to repair her saxophone. But Lisa finds a better saxophone that plays like a dream. But the Simpsons can't afford it. And then we're back on our A storyline, where Bart and Milhouse are left alone while this is happening, right? So if Homer and Marge and Lisa and Maggie, presumably, are driving to King Toots for a new saxophone, that's happening. Therefore, Bart and Milhouse are left alone at the Simpsons' home. and they prank call Moe's Tavern. But Bart has run out of ways to trick Moe. He uses an old, I was thinking about the Amanda Hug and Kiss line, and Moe catches on because it's been done before. You know, Moe could be smarmy about it, like, oh, you're running out of material. Pretty soon this is all going to end for you, kind of a situation. Therefore, Milhouse advises Bart to use AI to start generating new ideas. Therefore, they prank call Moe successfully. But whenever Homer, Marge, Maggie, and Lisa arrive home saxophoneless, Bart reveals he's created an AI prank call app. But Lisa warns Bart against the dangers of AI. Therefore, Bart interrupts her speech with an AI prank call. Therefore, oh, and then we have like 1 week later. Goes there, maybe. 1 week later, Lisa's practicing on a paper mache saxophone, and it collapses in her fingers. Therefore, Lisa's sadness distracts Milhouse from thoroughly warning Bart about establishing parameters with AI, leaves Bart unsupervised. But Bart doesn't think he needs Milhouse and types into our AI what he wants, and the app is created. You know what? We don't even need that 1 week later there. And then we're going to have like a commercial break. We're going to jump through time. And the way that we're going to visually jump through time is show Bart's success. We can skip past like seeding a company and scaling up and blah, blah, blah. We can just get to the good stuff. We need to see Bart's status rise as Lisa's status falls. And in the middle of Act 2, they're going to switch. Bart will realize he's in over his head. He's in bed with, Mr. Burns and all of the worst, world's worst Simpsons, Springfield, Shelbyville, worst millionaires, billionaires that are ruining Springfield. Lisa will take up the mantle of an eco-warrior, and they'll start going in opposite directions until they come to a head in Act 3, and we do all of our Act 3 beats. Okay. I know it's a lot, and thanks for bearing with me. Sometimes it's important to catch up, or just rehash stuff. Mookie says, only Derek can make spelling his own name an interesting adventure. Thank God I spelled it right, Mook. I wasn't 100% confident I was going to get there. Especially as many times as I did. Okay, so we're just going to slightly move over to the work that we already did on artificial intelligence. And we're going to read some of our beats and see where we can pick up. So remember, we have to get to a point where Bart sells his AI to Mr. Burns, who is now into AI data centers. We have kind of moved past this. Lisa goes to buy the saxophone and it's already been sold. Now it's just out of the Simpsons price range. Bart decides to spend his money in the most insane ways possible. Okay, so this makes sense. So now we're kind of picking up from this beat. Bart is spending his money in insane ways. Lisa asks Bart for the saxophone. And I have a feeling like if Bart were to ask his meta glasses, should I get Lisa this saxophone? Or should I host a UFC fight at the Church of Springfield? The meta glasses. He's going to let the meta glasses decide, right? Now Bart is not thinking for himself. So we can almost open with a confrontation. So Bart is in his... Let's say Bart is in his luxury treehouse, looking at his app sales. Maybe a news show of a news segment about prank calls surging. Newscaster receives prank call on air. And then we have Lisa confronts Bart about how his app is making things worse. And he's not thinking about what's right and wrong. He's thinking about profitability, right? So these are the new catalysts for this new act. These are the new problems out there facing. Is that too small? Can you guys read that? I can barely read that. I think I went too small. Okay, so this is kind of how we intro. Let's move this to the back. This is how we intro. This is all part of the same scene, even though our storylines have merged. We do red for Lisa's storyline, which is the B storyline. Okay. And then let's see. So, but therefore, Bart consults his AI glasses as to what he should do. Buy Lisa a saxophone to shut her up, or invest in an ultimate fighting event. But the AI is programmed to side with profitability and recommends Bart partner with other wealthy donors to host the event. And I would say, but therefore, this is going to be a long one. Act 2 is very hefty, by the way. But therefore, Monty Burns is the only other wealthy person in Springfield. Okay. Yo, what's up? How's it going over there? Were you, Gabe, were you streaming, earlier, live? I can't remember. I feel like it always tells me to check out a video, but I don't know if it's happening live or not. Ah, okay. Rookie and Gabriel together again. Let's see. Therefore, Bart arrives in fancy attire in a wealthy way in order to prove himself to Burns. Therefore, Burns is impressed and introduces him to his secret cabal of billionaires. Invest his money. And I think the billionaires come up with this kind of like UFC on the White House lawn parody idea. Let's take a look at our beats. We have like a midpoint scene that we owed where frustrated Lisa gives up and tries AI to figure out how to stop her brother, get her saxophone back, save Springfield. Honestly, this will probably be a much bigger issue than getting her saxophone back. I think she's smart enough to know how to do that. It's more about how to save Springfield. How to save Springfield. They share their energy to data center monopoly plan. Can people read that? Let me expand it a little bit. All right, writers, how we doing out there? Is this story tracking for everyone? We're getting a little light on Lisa's story. Let's see. Let's go back over to the B story. This seems like a bit as opposed to a major plot point. Let's see how the town of Springfield is suffering. How does a data center ruin a town in real life? Well, we know from the actual news that it monopolizes utilities like water and electricity. Let's see. A single facility can consume millions of gallons of water daily for cooling and as much power as a small city, leading to higher utility bills, environmental degradation, and resource shortages for locals. So you know what? We are also in this like heat wave. Like, let's use what we know. Let's even like in the setup, let's put it's summer. Homer destroys Lisa's saxophone. Maybe it has something to do with summer. Maybe it doesn't. But therefore, we know what's going to happen. Copy, paste. Lake Springfield is drying up. Well, people are in their boats fishing. What else? And, you know, this could be like a nice little montage of like the town suffering. Therefore, this would actually be a sequence. So I'm going to put this like one on top of the other kind of a situation. This is going to be electricity going out, the critical moment of something, maybe like of a Krusty the Clown show. I promise you, kids, I can juggle. Okay. Oh boy. Trust me, I'm doing it. Something like that. Well, that's a terrible Krusty, by the way. Air and noise pollution. Air pollution. We'll say noise pollution as well. And here we can kind of brainstorm what Simpsons characters canonically would suffer from air pollution, like chases the bees away and the bee man costume guy chokes or something, like it kills the men in the bee costume too somehow. Who would suffer from noise pollution, like Disco Stew? Can't hear his records, man. Something like that. All seems in character so far. Rolling blackouts for regular customers. Oh yeah, customers of what? Like the Krusty Burger, maybe? Let's get Simpson-y with it. Give me some Give me some pitches, writers. And it doesn't have to be what I have here. This, actually, you know what? I'm going to move all this down to a fresh brainstorm, and we'll move it back up. But how does the data, center ruin Springfield? Question mark. Select all bold so it's easier to read. Maybe increase the font size for y'all. And, I guess these were some of my brainstorms, but really, I'd like to hear all of yours. It's a collaborative writer's room, baby. And we could even put them under categories. Like, we know what data centers do. They take up space. They take up water. They take up electricity. They cause air pollution. They cause noise pollution. Who in Springfield is effective? Also, the aesthetic just ruins they're kind of like these windowless, soulless buildings, ruining a picturesque landscape of Springfield. Does the noise pollution chase all of the woodland creatures out of the Springfield forest or park? Noise scares all of the animals out of the park/forest. Do birds crash into the data center, that kind of thing? Jump in there. How can we show the downfall of Springfield? The room that Homer works in the nuclear power plant even loses power. Oh, not even I want to one up that a little bit, Mookie. I just think that the nuclear power plant loses power. It does feel like an Act 3 turn, though. Or even like blackouts, maybe? Because it feels like that's kind of a solution, doesn't it? But I like it. I really like it. So let's put it under electricity and let's figure it out later. Which is even the power plant, even Springfield. Jeez. Nuclear power plant loses power. Good one, Mook. I like that a lot. City Hall. Quimby comments. Oh, yeah. We definitely need Mayor Quimby to... Oh, but you know what's interesting about data centers, too, is that they have these, like, highly ineffective tax promises where they're like, oh, we're going to bring heavy tax breaks and subsidies, but and jobs too. They say that they're going to create jobs, but they rarely do, or the jobs aren't permanent. Like after the initial construction phase, they actually provide very little, what do you call it, like economic benefit. So so I can also see like why Quimby might be pro data center, and people could eventually turn on him. But I do like that you brought Mayor Quimby into it. I always love a Mayor Quimby moment. Yeah. Quimby tries to spin it or explain it away. And you know what'd be kind of cool is to put Quimby in the billionaires cabal. In Quimby. Like they bought Quimby. That's pretty good. I like that plot point a lot. That's fun. Okay, water usage. Do we have any like water-based characters? Oh, the sea captain guy. What's his name? I swear to God, if it's just sea captain guy on The Simpsons. Name. Okay. He has a name, but I don't think anybody's ever called him that. Captain Horatio McAllister. Did anybody else know that was the sea captain's name? Captain Horatio McAllister. I said what I said. That's how it's spelled on here. McAllister. McAllister's ship is landlocked as water dries up around him, maybe. Okay. Electricity. Air pollution. This is the B-Man costume. Name of B-Man on The Simpsons. Bumblebee Man. Or Pedro Chesperito. And Bubble. Oh, and Bumblebee Man. Jokes and ties. Maybe? Is that too harsh? Alright, sorry, y'all. My phone's dying. I'm going to end that YouTube live. It was good while it lasted. Just going to fix that. Let's see while you guys brainstorm what's going on, huh? Is there like a flying? Is there somebody who in The Simpsons who's like a pilot, a superhero that can fall out of the sky, a bird-related character that we haven't touched on yet? No? Also, it's fine. Sometimes I understand that we're getting tired. We've been at this for, I don't know, 2.5 hours. And hey, sometimes the battery runs low. I think we did some really good work today, by the way. We brainstormed some really fun bits. We wrote an Act 1 and an outline in Act 1 in the top of an Act 2. We started really consolidating our story and making sure that it has like linear and honest momentum. I'm happy with this. I think this is good. And not to mention, like, we still have this really fun note here, which I'm going to put at the top, which is the vehicle in which to tell the story. Like, we could parody even more than just the subject matter of the AI data center. We could parody the way in which we frame a story. For instance, if this was like a detective noir, Chinatown, we can almost put this in black and white and put it in the 1950s and set it with AI, and how something's stealing all the water and we don't know what it is. It could be like a sci-fi noir, like what's that? Does anybody remember that sci-fi noir where they're all like trapped in this like 1950s town and that's always moving and it's always night, like Night World or Dark World or something like that, and you pull back and you realize that they're all like on an alien spaceship. It's crazy. Dark World? Am I making this up? I'm not making this up. Dark World movie? Am I wrong? Movie where it's always night and detectives are on an alien ship. Event Horizon. That's not Event Horizon. Pandorum. I remember this movie, but I just don't remember them. Ugh. And noir style, but they are. There's nobody? Am I? Somebody help me. Somebody find this movie. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Alien Trespass? No. No. It's like it's something called like Dark World or Dark or Noir sci-fi movies best. Maybe 90s, early 2000s. Not Blade Runner. Dark City. Dark City. I knew it was something like that. Dark City follows John Murdoch, a man with amnesia who awakens in a hotel bathtub beside a murdered woman. Accused of a killing he can't remember, he navigates a perpetually dark, clockwork metropolis. He soon discovers that pale, telekinetic aliens called the Strangers manipulate the city and its residents' memories every night. That's the movie I was thinking of. Ugh. Anywho. I don't even remember if it was any good, to be honest with you. I just remembered the premise. What a wild premise. What a way to blend. I mean, hey, it's memorable. It stuck with me. That's a deep cut. Dark City or Alien Trespass? What are you talking about? Alien Trespass. Hold on, I don't want people to be under the illusion that we're still writing because we've kind of moved out of that situation. How's it going? Here we go. Alien Trespass. Sci-fi comedy. Oh, I see. It looks like a 1950s with the guy from Will and Grace, Eric McCormick. Whoa, your cut is deeper than mine. I've never heard of this. A spaceship crash in 1957 California leads to the escape of Gotha, a murderous monster bent on destroying all life forms. In order to capture Gotha, a benevolent alien named Earp takes over the body of an astronomer, Eric McCormick, and enlists the aid of a waitress named Tammy, Jenny Baird. But unless Earp and Tammy are successful, mankind is doomed. Wow. 5.8 on IMDb, 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's got to be more of like a cult classic, right? This, wow, the cover of this, it looks cheap as hell. In a good way. In a good way. Dang, Mook. Oh, shoot. Zanny, how long you been here, huh? It's good to see you again. It's been a while. I know our schedules probably haven't been syncing up like they normally do. But still, happy to have you here. And now we got the MMA Unk here. Brand new user. Just excited to have everybody here. And with that, I guess we are kind of winding down the old stream here. Yeah, like I said, we did a lot of good work today, and we're starting to see the shape of things. And it's still going to be bad and still going to be wrong. And next week, we're going to be smarter writers looking back on the choices that we made this week. And we are going to shame our past selves or be like, wow, how did we miss that giant gaping plot hole? But you know what? We'll fix it and we'll move on. It's just the way of the world. And I promise as soon as I move, which will be August 1st, I'm also going to start doing some co-working writing streams where I won't be engaging with the chat as much, but feel free to, write alongside me. I'm going to look for some really cool, of course, royalty-free music for focus and stuff like that. And we're going to have a really good time. And you'll see me just doing the thing. Walking around, talking to myself, pacing, getting up out of my chair, being frustrated, looking in the refrigerator for a snack to distract myself, deciding I don't need that snack after all, getting some water instead, coming back, sitting in the old chair, and forcing my way through story, white knuckling my way through story. And you can do it too, and we can do it together, and it'll be really fun. Okay, so let's take a look at who is online right now and who is actually writing. Now, last time we talked to Syph, he said that he was going off to bed. So I know that Syph is sleeping, perhaps, which is cool. Hope he's getting some good rest. Let's see. Oh, Mookie. Oh, thanks for the bits. I appreciate you. Honestly, you always inform me. You're the one working at a real life newspaper and journalism, and you're always you're crushing it in the real world. So I'm excited that you come here and grace us with your presence. But thank you. I appreciate you, man. You're fantastic. And thank you for gifting that sub to Cypher earlier. That was so nice of you. Just appreciate you, and appreciate you always being on the stream. You always give me such fun ideas to work with. So yeah, let's see who we can raid. Let's see. We have. Let me do a quick search and see who is reading and writing right now, or writing and reading right now. This is a weird time of night. Three more channels. I think like everybody's kind of oof. Oh wait, working on what is this? Let me check out D double blind DD. What's going on here? Okay, so the work is being done, but they're not really talking to the peeps. Okay, I'm gonna just go to an old the old standby. We're going to go to Kira 93 and raid her. I will say I was able to share some short stories that I did, and I know that whenever she's done with Jane Austen, maybe, if I'm lucky, if I'm honored enough, she'll read some of the short stories on whenever she switches to the reading and writing category. But no promises. Just something that I hope happens. Okay. /raid. Kiara 93. But either way, she's good vibes doing the Elder Scrolls. Enjoy the English accent. And say hello from me. And I'll catch you guys next Tuesday. We're going to keep powering through this through July. And then I'll move to a brand new apartment, build a brand new workspace. And we'll have like a newer, more updated version of the show come August, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. Okay, so with that being said, let's raid. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you again so much. Thank